a lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. You know?
And you've always stood alone, and you know, bloodline.
I don't hang with niggas. You're not gonna see me at every party, every industry party, all the clubs. I go somewhere quiet, man, shoot pool with me and my mans and them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit I do. You know what I'm saying? Fuck my remote control cars, jump on the 4-wheelers. You know what I mean? I ain't with all that in the club shit, throwing it up and all that bullshit. I ain't got time for that shit, man. That means then you find yourself doing the same shit every fucking day. What are you, a fucking alcoholic? You know what I mean? Come on, man. Give it a fucking break, man. Live a little. You know what I mean? I play with my kids, man. I play with my toys. I play with my dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? We go somewhere, shoot pool. We do what the fuck we do. You know what I mean? That's why you see us in places that you don't normally see. And you're like, damn, why you here? Well, I'm here because why are you here, motherfucker? You here playing video games, right? Right then. What the fuck?
Back in the 1990s and early 2000s, hip-hop was booming. Many rappers were becoming rich and famous. But not everyone trusted the people behind the scenes, especially a powerful music mogul named Diddy. Two notable figures, Ice Cube and DMX, were among the few who spoke out and warned people about him and Jay-Z.
You're hearing Diddy everywhere, okay?
Yeah.
So, did you ever have any kind of run-in with Diddy? Did you ever do anything with Diddy? Any projects you worked on with him?
He produced a few records, or had his producers do a few records on my War and Peace album, Peace Disc, yeah.
How was he to work with?
It was cool. You know, he, gave us great music. We flew out to New York, and I was mainly in the studio with the producer. You know, he had a stable of producers, so I was in the studio with his stable of producers, and I think we did some great music. And you know, I really kind of, lost contact with him and really stopped, dealing with Puffy around 94.
Yeah. Any specific reason?
Yeah, I mean, they was doing their thing, I was doing mine. And, I'm not the partying type, you know what I mean? I ain't never been to a Diddy party. I ain't never really wanted to go, but I don't go to a lot of people parties. That just ain't what I'm in it for. You've been to one, you've been to them all.
Are you surprised at what things are coming out with Diddy at all, or you're like, you have no idea? It's none of my business. You'll live long. Is that kind of like the mindset?
I'm surprised. How could you be surprised with anything that happens in hip hop? Hip hop is the Wild West, so. You're gonna have the good, you're gonna have the bad, you're gonna have the ugly.
Ice Cube, a West Coast legend and former NWA member, often voiced concerns about how the music industry treated artists. In interviews and songs, he spoke about shady deals and fake friendships, suggesting that Diddy prioritized money over loyalty. DMX, known for his raw emotional raps and deep voice, was even more direct. Initially, Ice Cube defended Diddy when the allegations surfaced.
Think he's being targeted, or some of the stuff he's got, there's credibility on what they're coming after him with the tapes and the feds and raiding his Miami home, his LA home?
I believe he's being targeted.
You believe he's being targeted?
Yeah. I believe, somebody, has the power to pull the trigger to make, this stuff, this domino effect happen.
Okay, all right. So, you think he's being targeted? So you don't think, Suge said, you can say what you want about Diddy, but Diddy didn't learn to like young boys. He learned it from a man named Clive Davis. He threw Clive Davis in there. It doesn't sound like you're part of that camp. You're part of the camp that you think he's being targeted.
I don't know enough to even be able to be specific on any of this stuff. It's just all speculation. I just know he was cool up until a point, and then this stuff started happening. So I believe somebody, like I said, yo, he's our new guy. We on this year.
Later, DMX allegedly called out Diddy in interviews, saying he didn't trust him and believed Diddy didn't genuinely care about the artists he worked with. Gene Deal, however, wasn't impressed with Ice Cube's previous supportive comments.
Hey man, the first thing I want to ask you about is Ice Cube. He came out with a comment that went viral.
God.
He said that he feel like Diddy is being targeted. How you feel about him saying that?
My man, Ice Cube was saying what, if you read through the line what Ice Cube was saying, he was saying that all us or all of them has done the same Diddy been doing. And because he pissed somebody off, they targeted him. They're gonna make an example out of him. Whatever you do at this point in time, you understand, we gonna crush everything that you got to show the other people behind him. You don't come out and speak up or speak out on us. What Ice Cube was saying, brother, was that it ain't only Diddy picked on, targeted. That means there's other people that they know, but they just not gonna say anything about it. You understand? They're not gonna use them right now and put them up on a pedestal and knock them down like they doing Diddy. If Diddy hadn't done anything, if Diddy wasn't involved in anything, ain't nothing they could do to you. They could come at you, but if you got enough money like he had enough money, you understand? Whatever they say, the lies don't stand, bro. The truth stand. So Ice Cube saying that, I was a little disappointed. But what he was actually letting y'all know was this. It ain't only Diddy. There's other people. But because he came out and called those people racist, because he came out and tried to put a lawsuit against them, they gonna show him you don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's what that was all about.
At the time, many people dismissed these tensions as mere rap beef or drama. But years later, as more disturbing stories emerged about Diddy's behavior and business practices, often tied to figures like Jay-Z, those early warnings from Ice Cube and DMX started to make more sense. There were even rumors alleging that Diddy and Jay-Z had a romantic relationship.
And that's the only Diddy party I ever been to, was out in public, and there was no freak off shit. There was no outwardly gay shit going on or anything like that.
So that's been going around since the 90s, him being bisexual?
I heard that's why he had got fired from Uptown. That he got caught in a precarious act, doing something real baby oil-ish in the office. You know? Now I'm not gonna get into the rumor of who the other dude was, but y'all heard the rumor. And homeboy, you know, the other dude says it's not true, but I don't know. I'm just saying that was the rumor since back then.
Yeah, somebody told me about that, how they walked in on Diddy getting fellatio from another man.
Yep.
Wow, dude. But speaking of baby oil, how you feel about the feds finding over 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Of baby oil and lubricant. Don't forget, they said and lubricant. So you gotta, you know, maybe could have been 500 and 500. I don't know, you know, but it's a slippery slope, Art. Like, you know, it's a very slippery slope when it comes to baby oil, you know. I don't know why you would need, first of all right, as a man, if you know about the anatomy of a woman and you know how to get her in the right frame of mind, no oils are needed. She's self-lubricating, okay? So that leads me to believe that's for something else that needed moisturizing.
In recent days, Diddy's trial in New York City has brought more troubling stories to light from people who once worked closely with him. These accounts describe a pattern of abuse, control, and fear. One of the most emotional testimonies came from a woman named Mia, who worked as Diddy's assistant from 2009 to 2017. She told the court that Diddy was not just a demanding boss. He, physically and emotionally abused her.
Today, jurors are hearing from another former personal assistant to Sean Diddy Combs in his federal sex trafficking trial. We do want to warn you that this next story includes graphic descriptions of violence. The witness took the stand today under the pseudonym Mia. She testified that Combs was frequently violent towards his ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura, and she said his behavior could be, quote, unpredictable and terrifying. She also alleged that Combs sexually assaulted her. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges in the case. NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Malas is once again outside the courthouse in New York City. Chloe, what else are jurors hearing today from Mia?
So this individual who worked for Combs over a period of 8 years as both a personal assistant, like you said, and later an executive at one of his companies. She said that Combs screamed at her, once pushed her in a pool, even threw a computer towards her, narrowly missing her head. She said that she really worked in fear and that sometimes she would go days on end, Kate, without sleeping. And that in one instance, when she was working for Combs in Las Vegas while he had nightclub appearances, that she went 5 days with no sleep, and that it caused a physical breakdown with temporary vision loss and hearing loss, and that finally at that point Combs let her fall asleep. She also claimed earlier in her testimony today that Combs sexually assaulted her. We expect to hear more about that in the moments that led up to this alleged assault. She also said that she witnessed Combs brutally beat Cassie Ventura on more than one occasion, one being at the late singer Prince's home in California, in which he was so angry that she and Cassie went to a party at Prince's house that he chased Cassie down onto the lawn and beat her until Prince's security intervened.
And Chloe, a celebrity stylist, also wrapped up his testimony today. What did he have to say?
He talked about witnessing physical and verbal abuse during Cassie's over 10-year relationship with Combs. He said that he and Ventura were close friends. He was with her almost every single day. He said that at one point he even heard Combs threaten to release videos of these alleged freak-offs, and that he was using it as blackmail and holding it over her career, and also refusing to put out music that she was making unless she participated in these drug-fueled parties.
Mia said he threw objects at her, slammed her arm in a door, and even raped her. She described being forced to stay in his home, unable to lock her door or leave without permission. She had to be available at all times, even for bizarre tasks like cracking his knuckles.
Diddy Day 12 and the prosecution's witnesses are unleashing more bombshell testimony.
Good morning. Good morning.
A morning greeting from Diddy's 85-year-old mom, Janice, on Day 12 as the fireworks inside court got underway. The defendant's sons arrived to hear a new witness claiming to be a victim of their dad's violent history. Diddy's former assistant, who's going by the pseudonym Mia, testified about her chaotic past with the music mogul. Mia claims that a toxic Diddy would throw things at her and once threw her against a wall and into a pool. She alleges that he slammed her against the door and sexually assaulted her more than once. Mia is the former assistant to Mike Myers and Adrian Brody's designer girlfriend Georgina Chapman. Mia testified that when she arrived for her first interview with Diddy, he was on the phone in his underwear.
I'm not the easiest to work for.
On the stand, Mia said working for Diddy was like his former reality competition show.
I don't give a I am the best to work for. I'm not everybody else!
The wild 2008 series showed the abrasive music star handpicking a worthy assistant.
This is what it's like in the heat of battle, baby.
But the heat of the battle for Mia included her working over 24 hours on her first day on the job with no sleep. She lived on Diddy's property and was never allowed to have a lock on her bedroom door. Diddy told her, quote, "It's my house and no one locks my doors in my house." She also mentioned witnessing Diddy abusing Cassie.
Mia was trembling throughout her testimony, really from the moment she got there, but when she was asked about the violence that she witnessed with Cassie, she got very emotional. It was hard for her to finish sentences at times.
CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister, who uncovered Diddy's hotel attack on Cassie Ventura, has been following the case since day one.
Mia goes into this whole story. Sean Combs took Cassie, threw her hard against a bed to the point where Mia said, "I thought that he was going to kill her, and there was gushing blood everywhere, and he forced Mia to get in touch with the doctor and instructed her to say, "Tell the doctor that Cassie was drunk and hit her head."
Mia also described the frightening night she and Cassie snuck away to a party at Prince's home that she was forbidden to attend.
So they get to the party, they're having a great time, and all of a sudden Mia realizes that Sean Combs walks in. They run out of the house. She says that Sean Combs catches up with Cassie, tackles her to the ground, and then Prince's security actually intervenes.
During Cassie's friend and stylist Deontay Nash's last day on the stand, he testified that he once set her up with actor Michael B. Jordan. He also told the jury it was Diddy who would use Cassie's phone to shoot videos of her during the freak-offs. He would record her on her phone, Deontay said. "I stand firm on that." And now, we've learned the trial's endgame. The judge announcing the case against Diddy should be wrapped up by the 4th of July. But first, it's Team Diddy's chance to present their case.
We don't know where the defense is going to go, but what we've seen so far with former employees of Combs is the defense is constantly trying to make the point that you benefited from working for Sean Combs. For the former employees, they're all saying that I learned so much from Combs, and yet these horrific things happen.
Sometimes she worked for days without sleep. Mia said, she felt trapped and terrified, believing that Diddy was so powerful that even the police couldn't help her. Another witness, Deontay Nash, a stylist who worked with Diddy, described seeing him hit his then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura so hard, she bled. Nash said he tried to stop the assault by jumping on Diddy's back, but Diddy threw him off. After seeing the blood, Diddy panicked and blamed others, saying, "Look what y'all made me do." Nash also shared that Diddy threatened to release private videos of Cassie to her family and employers if she didn't obey him.
Please, what key testimony today stood out to you?
Hi, Judge Ashley. So right now, witness Deontay Nash, witness for the government, is on the stand about to start cross-examination. And he's really turned out to be a pretty key witness for supporting and corroborating all the testimony and allegations we heard from Cassie Ventura almost a couple weeks ago now. Prior to this, we heard that Cassie never really spoke of the freak-offs to anyone. She was very ashamed of them. She was very embarrassed. But he's Deontay Nash, who was a friend and part of their circle of friends, that styled Combs and styled Cassie for a lot of the performances and artistry that she did. He was there, and he really witnessed. He says he witnessed a lot of the abuse that she has described, including and that he also was a victim to allegedly to some of Sean Combs' lashing out and rages. Deontay Nash has testified about the 2013 incident when that Cassie Ventura described at her house where she was sleeping, and Sean Combs came in and demanding, to know where she was, why she wasn't answering her phone, and that Combs just attacked her. And Deontay Nash, like Cassie had said previously, jumped on his back and tried to get Sean Combs off of Cassie and to stop attacking her. And this is the incident that she said left her with a permanent scar over her eyebrow, and that she said to this day she covers up with makeup. And Deontay Nash even provided this context for what Combs allegedly said afterwards. "Look what y'all made me do." And this was when, after that, Combs rushed her to a plastic surgeon so that she could get it stitched up and be on her way to the event, the next event that she was planning.
Wait to hear about cross-examination of this.
These threats were reportedly used to control Cassie and prevent her from leaving. Nash also recalled a disturbing incident where Diddy searched his home, even looking inside the oven in an attempt to find Cassie. He then forced Nash to go to a hotel where she was staying, hoping to convince her to come out. Nash said he felt unsafe and believed he was being followed. That same night, his backpack, containing cash, ID, and other important items, was stolen from his home. In another testimony, Capricorn Clark, a former assistant, said Diddy once kidnapped her at gunpoint because he was jealous of Cassie's relationship with rapper Kid Cudi. Clark said Diddy forced her to go with him to Cudi's house, planning to harm the rapper.
Capricorn Clark sobbed through the entire afternoon of cross-examination today, just coming across completely heartbroken as she described the kidnapping where Diddy kidnapped her to bring her to Kid Cudi's house, as she described their friendship, and then the fallout from this entire situation. She seemed completely shaken by the entire experience. The jury was able to see some emails that she sent to Sean Combs over the course of years, trying to get their friendship back after this whole experience at Kid Cudi's house. There was one email in 2015 where she says that she hopes that he makes good on his promise to get over things and be her friend again. There was discussion about how she was rehired with Sean Combs. Remember, she was fired. And then she went back under a different position, this time to work for Cassie Ventura. She talked about being heartbroken, feeling like she only went back because Cassie wanted her back, not because Sean Combs wanted her back. She really got into the fact that she believes this job was her life. Her parents died when she was young. Her son has autism and he's nonverbal. She made it very clear that this was everything to her and how difficult it was for her when she no longer was working for Sean Combs. She talked about the fact that Diddy made it difficult for her to get a job after he had fired her, that she would go to meetings with potential employers and they would actually turn into situations where they would tell her to leave Sean Combs alone. And the fallout from this entire situation has impacted her career greatly. She really had not been able to work except for when she went back to work for Combs. So this kind of putting together the testimony that we saw earlier in the day, as she described really being threatened by Sean Combs from day one. On her very first day working for him, he took her into Central Park late at night after 9 p.m. after finding out that she had worked for Suge Knight, who was one of his biggest rivals at the time, and he threatened to kill her on the very first day. There were a ton of other incidents just like this where he would threaten her life. One time when he thought that she stole jewelry from him, he locked her in a room for 5 days with a lie detector test, threatening to throw her into the East River if she did not pass this lie detector test. There were incident after incident that we saw of her detailing her experiences and fear of Sean Combs, but it was juxtaposed with the defense. For her, it seemed like love for working for him, despite the fact that it was really a traumatic incident for her to work for him for all of those years.
Clark also witnessed Diddy violently assault Cassie, beating and kicking her outside his residence. She said she once urged Cassie to leave Diddy, but Cassie responded with a bizarre comment, saying she had no one else to date since Jay-Z was already taken. The defense tried to get a mistrial, upset that someone brought up a 2012 fire that destroyed Kid Cudi's car. Some speculated that Diddy had a hand in the fire, but his lawyers argued that it was unfair to bring that up. The judge denied the mistrial, but told the jury to disregard that specific claim.
She has given birth to her third child less than 2 weeks after testifying in the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Meanwhile, today, Los Angeles police and fire taking the stand, focusing on a break-in at rapper Kid Cudi's home and the firebombing of his car. An LAPD officer testified the black SUV he saw leaving Cudi's home in December 2011 following that break-in was registered to Combs' company. Then LAFD arson investigator Lance Jimenez testified about the 2012 firebomb that was dropped into Cudi's Porsche 911 Cabriolet. Cudi had claimed Combs was behind it. Jimenez also testified 2 fingerprints lifted from Cudi's home were turned into the LAPD evidence unit, but were destroyed in August of 2012. Following that, Combs' attorney called for a mistrial. The judge denied the request, saying fingerprint testimony would be.
As the trial moves forward, more celebrities are reportedly hiring legal teams, fearing they may be called to testify. Witnesses so far have included Cassie Ventura, Kid Cudi, and singer Dawn Richard. The prosecution is building a case against Diddy on serious charges, including racketeering, sex trafficking, by force or coercion, and transporting individuals for prostitution. Diddy's request for a mistrial was officially rejected.
The sex trafficking and racketeering trial of Sean Diddy Combs, a federal judge immediately rejected the defense's request for a mistrial. This request came after an arson investigator took the stand. So let's take you outside the New York courthouse with CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman with the very latest on how all of this unfolded. Hi, Katrina.
So yes, Combs' team requested a mistrial earlier. This was denied by the judge, but they alleged prosecutorial misconduct. It was related to testimony from an LA Fire Department investigator who had looked into an incident of alleged arson at the house of Scott Mescudi, that's the rapper Kid Cudi. Now, there was some evidence of fingerprints that was apparently destroyed back in August 2012, and the defense felt that the prosecution was insinuating in front of the jury that Combs may have been involved in that. The judge ultimately gave the jury an instruction, and so this will move forward, of course, but there was evidence in that testimony tying Combs's car to Mescudi's house. That was related also to an alleged break-in that Mescudi had previously testified. So we heard about those two incidents today, and then testimony from a former stylist who worked with Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura.
Yeah, what did the stylist have to say? You're saying that there was testimony from the stylist who worked for Diddy and also for Cassie Ventura. So what did he say on the stand?
Well, one bit of news came out on the stand, which is we had heard Cassie Ventura went into labor, and he said that yesterday he congratulated her on her baby, so she has in fact now had the baby. He also said that he spoke with her when she was a witness in this trial about what she was wearing. But his testimony illuminated a number of additional instances of violence between Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura. This is someone who was a stylist for both of them, who considers himself one of Cassie Ventura's best friends, and he told a number of harrowing stories, including that he helped Cassie hide from Sean Combs too many times for him to even count. He even said that he would keep $1,000 in cash on hand because sometimes he wanted to be able to go to a hotel and check in without having his name on it, because that was his level of fear with Sean Combs. But for instance, one of the stories he told was about how Combs came to an apartment, Cassie was asleep, he dragged her by her hair off of the couch, went into a bedroom, began attacking her, and it wasn't until there was a lot of blood that Combs even began hitting her. And it was a few seconds after that. He said there was blood, and he kept hitting her face, and she eventually ended up with a gash on her head. She had to be taken to a plastic surgeon and ended up with stitches. But like so many witnesses we've heard who were close to Combs, there's many dimensions to this relationship. It also came out that he has still stayed in touch with him over the years and even calls it a loving exchange when he is in touch with Combs, despite all of this testimony of aggression and fear.
All right, quite an emotional day per usual. Katrina Kaufman. Katrina, thank you.
These recent testimonies have added major weight to the prosecution's case, painting Diddy as someone who used his fame and influence to manipulate and abuse those around him. The trial of Sean Diddy Combs has taken a dark and emotional turn. Former staff and associates are describing an environment filled with control, fear, and violence. Some call it a witch hunt, but others believe it's long overdue justice. Interestingly, one witness reportedly disappeared right before the trial, with speculation that Diddy paid her off.
Still got Gina, and the prosecution, the defense was trying to tell the prosecutor, well, she's not a witness, she's not a witness. They want the prosecution to hurry up to bring Gina in so Gina could paint the picture that like everything was consenting, because she's been paid off.
And this is the one that disappeared, right?
Yeah, this is the one who disappeared. This is the one who, they could get her. There's nowhere she could go that the federal government, if they want you, that you can't be got. You understand what I'm saying? If the federal government wants you that bad, you'll be gotten, bro. It's too much technology, photo imaging. There's nowhere she could go. She Asian, you know what I'm saying, half Asian or whatever like that. She might like Chinese food, rice or whatever like that. She gotta go somewhere to get something to eat. You know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. So now, she come and she testified in behalf of Diddy. They want the prosecution to bring her in. They know she's a hostile witness. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be here, this, that, and other. She made a post, I'd rather be in Chanel and all this other shit like that. That's the girl who took off the payment. She took the $2 million payment from Diddy and them when she got on Tasha K. I think Diddy may have gave her $2 million or something like that, got her in school, gave an apartment out in LA, still was messing with him.
However, the testimonies given so far paint a disturbing picture, not just of a powerful celebrity, but of a man who allegedly used that power to silence and harm others. The claims, ranging from physical abuse and emotional manipulation to sexual assault, are serious and heartbreaking. While Diddy's legal team is working hard to minimize the impact, every new witness adds more pressure to the case. The courtroom is tense. The world is watching. More people may still come forward, and some celebrities are reportedly getting nervous, hiring lawyers in anticipation of being called next. How do you think this trial will pan out? Let us know in the comments.